So I create a new Java project. It will be strings demo, and today we'll talk about very important for developers, for any developer topic. It will be strings, and what we will do at first, we create a package. The package with the name, it will be UA, edu, tntu, fis, ise, java. It will be our package, and inside this package I will create a new class. The name of this class will be strings demo runner. I will add to this class the main method, and I create it. Yes, it's created. Now it's just created. And now what I'm doing now, I am simply explain you main ideas, what we have behind the strings. We will talk about main concepts of the strings, and we will talk about the main peculiarities of the strings, and what we will do, we will create some methods, and also let's resolve few tasks, and these tasks will be your homeworks, your laboratory works. You will try to play with it, and also we'll try to resolve these tasks partially. We'll make small steps for resolving these tasks, and I believe it will be good for acknowledge. Also, we'll talk about regular expressions. We'll talk about the main methods of the string class, and we will talk about handling the string, different aspects of working with the strings. So at first, what is a string in Java? Every time you start writing your code, you write the main method, and you see that we have argument, string, and array of arguments. What we can do here, we can simply, let's create the simple string. So we write small greeting. So we do this. Also, I want to emphasize the fact that if you want to test anything we do in our class, if you have command line prompt, what you can do, it could be done in Windows or in Linux, in macOS. You can start J shell, and inside J shell you can write some prototypes which you want. For instance, I created a string here, yes, and you can do the same thing here. Yes, so that's only for prototyping and testing, and you can play with J-shell. So this is shell for execution Java code. So I created this string. If we click on this class, J-shell is available in Windows if you install JDK higher than 10, or maybe I suggest you to install Java, JDK Java 11 plus, you will have J-shell. J-shell you can find out in the Windows. J-shell, okay, about J-shell few words. In the Windows you can find out it in C program files. Maybe something else will be here, I don't know, it depends on the Windows. And then we have a directory where you install Java. It depends on distribution. And then we have directory, maybe some other directory, but you have to find bin, it's mean binary, and here you will have J-shell. That's about Windows. You can find out this in Windows. The path is like this. So this is where you can find out your Java, and J-shell also. So J-shell is also available in Windows. It's not something special for Linux only. And so we create string in this way, and we can create string in this way. And put it here. What is the difference? This way of instantiation we called string literal, and this one is string constructor, because something which is written after the new and the same like the name of the class, it will be your constructor with this string. The next, what we have the next. These two different types of instantiations are a bit different, and I will show you what is the difference between this one and this one. So I created these strings, but let's analyze what the string is at all. If you look at help, you see that the string class represents character strings. All string literals in Java programs such as ABC are implemented as instances of this class. Strings are constant. Their values cannot be changed after they are created. String buffers support mutable strings because string objects are immutable. They can be shared. So, what is the idea? The idea is that you see that we have multiple equivalents of how we can create string. And examples of usage them, but we will move to them later. Also, let's look at the class of the string. At first, strings in Java, in a contradict to C language, we have not string as an array of characters. String in our case is a string, it's an object. So what we will do with the string? At first, in Java we have one interface with the name char sequence. Char sequence. And this char sequence also is char sequence is interface which also represent a string. It also allows you to represent it, but let's now switch to our Java documentation, official documentation. If you remember, I suggest you to have this manual find out in internet, or you can download it, install in your computer, and you have this Java API. And here you can find out the class of the name string. Where is something? We can find out this class here, but I simply string. Yes, you see class string, and this class implement these interfaces: serializable, char sequence, comparable. What does it mean? It means that these data types could be, at first, they are comparable, so you can compare to strings. Usually compare them by the length, and it also is a char sequence. Also, what you can see here, this is documentation, official documentation, and char sequence. You have to understand that char sequence also has other implementations like StringBuffer and StringBuilder. So string, StringBuffer, and StringBuilder. These three classes we will talk about today, and we will talk about them now. So char sequence is more general. For the string builder and string buffer. So this is char sequence. I'll put it here. Okay, what about and you see that these things are the same. Also, what about strings? The main peculiarity of them is immutability. They are immutable. All of the strings are immutable, so we cannot change the string. What does it mean? It means that if you are doing str plus equals to in this case, if you are doing printing on the screen, we will have this object will be created in the memory. We will have two objects. Indeed, this will be two objects. So they are immutable. Sometimes, from some point of view, it is not efficient usage of memory, but for concurrent programs nowadays, this is one of the best ways we can work with them. So we have, let's run our program. And let's check what the result we will have. Yes, we see hello Rahim and all of these letters. So it is printed. It's printed now. So we have this one string, second one, and third one. You can ask me, tell me please, what is the difference between this string and this string? Because I told you that there is some difference. So the main difference that these strings from the strings literals use some special memory, some special part of the heap. So we will have some special memory in the heap, some special part, and in this case we use usual or general heap. This is the place where all of these elements are stored. And the result, we have hello Rahim and hello Rahim. What I will do now, okay, let me show you what is the difference. And you will see, maybe you will it will be a bit surprise for you, but let's check what we will have. That's important to know. You see that all of these strings have the same content. They are the same. What we will do? Let's do the next. Let's compare them. str equals to the next. We'll compare str2 so we compare all of the strings. We compare them, and what we will have? We have comparison between two strings. To be more precise, this special part of the heap is string pool. String literal pool. String literal pool. This is this special part of the heap memory because this is a memory, is optimized, and it try to save your literals in the most efficient way. And let's check all these the results. You see, and again, this one and this one, you see, the declaration is the same. Then we compare this and this, two different declarations, and we compare this and this, the same declaration. So we run our code, and what we will see? We will see true, false, false. You see? What is why? Very simple. It's very simple reason. Because here we compare object from string pool literal objects, sorry, it's plural, objects from string pool literal. The next we have what we have. We compare objects from the string pool literal and heap. So it is the next. We compare objects from the heap. We compare objects from the heap. And here we compare references to the objects. And here we compare literals directly. So this is how it looks like. So we have this way of declaration, this way and this way. Very important and useful sometimes to be more memory efficient if you have multiple operations. What I mean multiple operations, like, let me show you. For instance, you have some loop. You have loop. Imagine that you have loop about one imagine that we have this loop. Yes, you see how many iterations we will have. And what you will do, you will do the next str plus equals str. If you run this code, I will not do this, and I do not suggest you to do this, or maybe in the testing for the testing purposes it will be good, but I suggest you not to run this code in this way. Why? Because in this case we will have all of these objects in the memory. All of these objects in the memory. We don't need them, we only need this one, but in this case we'll have all of these objects in the memory. Yes, nowadays JVM has, Java Virtual Machine has some optimizations, some low-level optimizations, but it is not suggested to do. Maybe you will work with previous versions of Java, so better not to use this approach. And for concatenation, because this operation, what does it mean? It means that you are doing str plus str. It's the name of this operations is concatenation. Also, this operation can be done in this way. And when you are doing concat, what you can do, you do the same. So all of these operations, this one, and this one, are the same operations. All of these things are the same. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. You will have this. Yes, absolutely right. It will be very large string. Very large string. So this this way of concatenation is not efficient. Absolutely right. This all of these strings, all of this string is the same to this functionality and this one. All of these are concatenations. You can do it. You see that here we used method from the class string concat. Here we use overload operator plus, which means also concatenation. And now I suggest you, for these purposes, use class with the name StringBuilder. What is a StringBuilder? StringBuilder allows you also, you can initialize it with str. Also, please remember that we have also StringBuilder and we have StringBuffer class. And all of these classes can be these classes, these two classes, have the same methods. What is the difference? This class is thread safe, but this one is not thread safe, and it gives it the main advantage, and the main advantage is it's faster, it works faster. And the next, let's move forward. We also have here this class, and what we can do, What does it mean? It means that if you run, okay, let's do the next. Sorry, I comment this because I don't want to run this in my computer. It's too large amount of memory will be used. Okay, let's print on the screen this. What is the object SB and str? You see, we print on the screen these two strings. Let's look on the screen. We will see the same information. Yes, hello Rahim, hello Rahim. This one and this one. Before this, we have comparisons. Please check. Okay, we compare the strings. It's clear now. So if we have string pool literals, again, we can compare them directly. If you want to compare these objects, what you have to do, okay, first let me show how you have to do it. You have to do the next. You have to do the method equals. And this method is the most suitable way of comparison of two strings. And I suggest you in any case not to use this operator, but to use this method to compare two strings. Also, good question, what is thread safe? What is thread safety? Nowadays we are using programs which are concurrent. The programs which have multiple processes, we will talk to them later. And imagine that these threads, because if you look in your operating system, what you can do. Let's look and let's check. We have multiple threads. For instance, I have TeamViewer, and you see that I have multiple threads of this program. Yes, and what does it mean? It means that these all threads, because these are all threads. That means that all these threads share some variables. And if multiple threads at the same time write and read values, it could be confused. Imagine that you have in one class multiple students, and all the students have a chalk in his hand and run to the blackboard and write some character and go away. That's like a threads in the program. And imagine that at some moment few students can come to the blackboard and write their characters. So what we have to do? We have to, for instance, allow only one student to do this at the one moment. Yes, because not for all of the students, but only for one student. So in the program it looks like the same manner. So a student can come to the blackboard with his chalk and write his character. When he go away from the blackboard, another student can come and draw his own character. The same way is it threads, but in this case a thread is a student and our blackboard is some memory or variable which is shared between all of these threads. So to produce more predictable results of our program execution, we have to provide handling of these threads in the most maybe we have to set some rules for them. For one moment can be only one student near the blackboard. So this means thread safety. Thread safety is a control, management of these threads. That means that we control them and prevent two threads to write in one variable. So this is the purpose of thread safe class like StringBuffer. But StringBuilder doesn't have all of these capabilities. Maybe it's a disadvantage, maybe not, but for some reasons we don't need these limitations, and all the students can come to the blackboard and write something. So in this case we use this class. We will talk about threads, creating, handling later, but today I give you some small simple explanation what is the difference between this and this. And also I wrote for you the word immutable. You have to understand that everything which is immutable also is thread safe. Immutable indeed allows your program and this variable be thread safe. So in any case strings are thread safe because only immutability guarantee this feature. Okay, let's move forward. But small detail. If it's improper implementation of this immutability, then it's not thread safe. But these are details. Now simply understand that the developers who wrote this class string in Java really work hard and provide for you good handler for your strings, and inside JVM we have good and efficient way of handling these strings. So this is about thread safe. This thread safe. Okay, StringBuilder. So we have StringBuilder. What we will do with StringBuilder? I don't want to run this code. Indeed, I will not run it. But you have to understand that all of these objects will appear in the memory. Yes, in Java there is a garbage collector which will clean all of them, but nevertheless, we will have this object in the memory sometime. What we will do to prevent this case and have only one object in the memory which will be changed. So what we will have, okay, to be clear with you, what will be in the memory if we are doing this operation, for instance. At first we will have one string hello Rahim, second string will be hello Rahim, hello Rahim, third string will be hello Rahim, hello Rahim, hello Rahim, and etc, etc, etc. So we will have all of the iterations in the memory. But if you are talking about StringBuilder, in this case we will have the next. We will do it here and we will add str. In this case, this method will simply append to our string this string, and in the memory we will have only this object. And now I don't afraid about the number of operations. I can run this program. Here we have this SB. So let's print it on the screen. Okay, let's play with it. I don't know what will happen. I run my code. Now you see this red square is red. It's execution now. You see? The program is running. Run this red active. We can stop running. We can see here and we can see that, oh, great. What I told you, that's also too large memory was needed, so out of memory error. Sorry, sorry, I will not do this again because I don't have enough memory. So I will reduce the strings to 1000, okay? So let's do it only 1000 because it will be too complicated for my machine. And now, okay, it will be oh, it was executed. You see, that's all. And we have the string. Rather simple and efficient way of usage memory. So please remember this. In any case, what you can do, if at some point of your program you have string, yes, A, B, C, D, in some case you need StringBuilder, what you can do? So I switch from string to StringBuilder, and then if you need string again, and that's all. So now we have, you see, we go from the string, we create string, we go from the string to StringBuilder, and from StringBuilder to string again. So it's rather simple to understand. So that's all about these three classes and the difference between them. Let's move forward and let's talk about the methods we are having in this class, in the class string, I mean, not in our class of learning. We have, let's move through them and let's talk about them. I move to the class string and move through the methods we have. At first we have constructors, which allows us to make the string from the byte arrays, from byte arrays with some peculiarities. I'll not focus on them now. You can create it from characters, from other string, from StringBuilder, from StringBuffer. You can put here characters, array of characters. So from any array of characters you can make string. From any array of bytes you can make string. Also you can set character set if you need it. It could be not only UTF-16 but also UTF-8. It could be something else. In Java, by default, all of the strings are saved in UTF-16. This is UTF-16. Also, let's talk about methods. So what about methods? The methods in the class string are, let's move to the method. At first you can get some character at some position of your string. So if I have, let's move from the main of this. So concat, we talked about them, yes. So let's, sorry. str, let me comment out this, str char at, for instance, second position. Okay, let me show you, remove this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we only play now with the first string. Character at, the next one, string length. Also I put here additional spaces before and after. So what I'm doing now, str, we can do the next, contains. With this method we can check what the symbols we have. Do we have in this line? We have Rahim or not? For instance, we have Rahim or we have Andrei. We have Andrei or not? Let's check. The next method which can be useful for you, contains, compare to, code point before, and with. Okay, I will check and with. It is very useful if you have the name of the file and you can check if this file is txt file or something else, and you can read the name of your file and check its end with txt or not. Okay, let's run this. At first, at the point of 0, 1, 2, yes, the set point, we have 0, 1, 2, yes, E. At this position we have E. This is character at. Then we have the length of the string, all of the lengths. Contains, yes, it contains Rahim, but doesn't contain Andrei. Ends with txt, not. Another useful method will be trim. Interesting method. It allows you to print the string. You see the difference between this one and this one. We have first space at the beginning, space at the end, and at the end space. By the method of trim, we removed all of these spaces before and after. This is a trim method. And with also we can compare equal to ignore a case. We can compare equals. I provided for you equals, yes, method, and now it's equal for ignore a case. The next method is useful, very useful. This we omit now. Allows to get bytes from the string. We can create string from the bytes and we can get byte from the string. We also can get index of some position of other string. For instance, we want to know for instance R, the letter R. Let's check. 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. R. The next, what we have in 10. In 10. Okay. In 10 method, I will only tell for you this, what it does mean. This method allows you to move string which is located in the heap into the string pool literal. So this is rather interesting and useful method which allows you to do this. Okay, the next interesting method is join. It allows you to join the string char sequence according to some criteria. So we can join multiple strings with some delimiter. We can get last index of some character. Length matches. Oh, matches is more interesting. We'll talk about it now, later. Region matches. It's very close to previous one. I told about replace. In string you can replace characters, one character into another one, or you can replace some string into other substring. Replace all according to some regular expression. Replace first based on regular expression. Split. Start with subsequent substring to a character array to lowercase to uppercase. Trim I told you about. So the most important I have to show you, to uppercase and to lowercase, I believe it's rather simple. So all of the string will become lowercase or uppercase. It's rather simple. Here you can get substring from some beginning index and to the end index. Substring from the beginning to the end of the string. And start. Okay, the method split is very interesting and useful for you because it allows you to divide the string or tokenize it into some array of the strings. Replace according to some regular expression. Replace one string into another string because this is a char sequence. And you can only replace and also matches. So these few methods will be interesting for us, and we will talk about them. Now I will explain you how to work with them, and I will give you some special homework to play with all of these methods. Okay, now about these methods. At first, replace all. Very simple. I have Rahim, yes, and what I'm doing now, I tell that I want to replace I believe nothing strange here is not. Hello, Andrei. Yes, now we have this string. Other case, if you want to change, replace characters. For instance, we want to replace all R into A, but as, okay, just a moment, it should be characters. R to A. And we will see this. So it's a replacement of characters. How to replace? Also we have this is replacement. Region matches. Just a moment, I show you. Split. Substring. Okay, substring. Useful method, rather useful method. What we can do with it? What we can do with it? We can okay, match. Or what we'll talk about? Substring. No, substring. Begin index. Let's try to play with from set position and to the end of the line, and we will obtain the next line. You see this. Also good question for you. You see that here I get character. Here I get this. But here I replace Rahim to Andrei. And I obtain this. Here I do this action. And I obtain also the... So I have substring and also I have Rahim, not Andrei, not Ahim. What does it mean? It means that our we obtain here, we have to remember that all of these methods are immutable. It starts from index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. This index. Okay, the question, how does it works? How does it works? Good question. It works in this way. You have begin index and you have end position. You include beginning and exclude end. So the last will be, in our case, the length of the string will be 15, yes. So the last one will be 14. That's why we take before the last one. And a good question for you, it is, I talk you about immutability. So str2, for instance, indeed will be what I'm talking about for you. Yes, you see this. Now, all of these methods, all of the methods in the string class, this important, remember, very important, that method return the string, the new one, the new string. So you have to remember that if you simply run somewhere in your code this, it will not change for you something here. This string will be not changed in any case. In this case you will obtain some string, but you will not use it. That's important. Okay, let's move forward. And according to our methods, this is the substring. You understand what is the meaning of substring with the indices. So if I put here 5, it means that it will be, or okay, maybe it will be 10. So we'll have elements 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8, and 9, but not 10. Before the 10 element excluded. I believe it's rather simple and clear for you. And now let's talk about substrings. It's okay. To lowercase to uppercase, I believe it's clear, but maybe not clear. Let me show you to lowercase, and in this case we will have, you see, everything is lowercase. And the next. Also, if you want to play with what we can do str_length. If you need to play with the characters and print, for instance, we have some character which is in the position index of I, yes, and in this case we'll have all of these characters here, except you see that we have an error because sorry, not index of, character of, char at, sorry, char at. So we have character, yes, and now we can print on the screen these characters, and we will see some number of these characters here. So this is what we are talking about. Now we can play with these characters. If you want, you can do very simple thing. because it's character, it's integral type, so you can simply do this. Yes, in this case you will have something strange. Yes, but because this is a bit different characters, another code, but it works. Okay, so this is about characters, trim, and split. What about split? We have in this case, hello Rahim, how are you? And what we will do, let's do the next. At first, let's remove trailing spaces by the method trim. So we remove these spaces. Now we don't have these spaces. The second step, let's tokenize, let's divide our string into tokens. What we will do, split, the method split, and we will split it by the space, with the spaces. We split them with the space. What we will do now, let's and if we print on a screen tokens, we will have something like this. Yes, we tokenize our string. Yes. And also I show you this method, and what about other substring, split, and match. I believe that about matching we will talk about in the next hour class, but now